We have an amazing discovery to show you tonight from Arizona, from the Arizona-Mexico border, actually. An underground tunnel as long as a football field linking Mexico and Arizona. Drug enforcement agents think it was used to smuggle tons of cocaine into the United States. They say it's like nothing they have ever seen before.
This type of tunnel is not an amateur operation. It's a highly sophisticated engineering feat that took place.
The agents say they found the tunnel by using aerial surveillance to track this shipment of cocaine from Mexico to the United States. 4 suspects arrested so far, but the agents are still looking for lots of others.
And we have a happy ending to a story that we told you about.
Cocaine smugglers. Customs officials say it's like something out of a James Bond movie. They've dubbed it Cocaine Alley. NBC's Roger O'Neill with more.
The tunnel was called one of the most sophisticated drug smuggling schemes authorities have ever seen. Using jackhammers and torches, federal agents broke into the concrete reinforced tunnel at a warehouse in Douglas, Arizona. 30 feet underground, agents walked for 100 yards through the 5-foot-high tunnel. It took them under the Mexican border to a house in Agua Prieta. There, they found an air compressor, a sump pump, a small trolley car, and a hydraulic jack. It was used to lift up the floor inside the living room of the house, where the smugglers would start their illegal trip to the U.S. Authorities said when the tunnel wasn't being used for drug running, the smugglers would flood it with water.
Let's say we came over here with some technology trying to detect this. It would look like an underground stream if it was flooded.
Federal agents said the tunnel cost at least $1 million to build and had probably been in operation for 6 months to a year. Last November, customs agents received a tip that a sophisticated tunnel was being used to funnel cocaine into the United States.
This type of tunnel is not an amateur operation. It's a highly sophisticated engineering feat that took place.
Mexican authorities were also involved in the investigation and the raid. Earlier this month, police seized 2,000 pounds of cocaine, which they said came into the U.S. through the tunnel. The drugs were headed for Southern California. In Washington, Customs Commissioner Carol Hallett was almost gleeful with word of the bust.
And when we work as a team, we're going to beat them. We're going to win, we're going to stop the druggers, and the good guys will win.
2 people have been arrested. Agents say they are looking for more. Roger O'Neill, NBC News.
Guide wheels that would actually move along the wall as well as along the floor. So when you were pushing it along this tunnel or pulling it, you wouldn't have to worry about it running into a part of the wall as it curved.
But the most sophisticated engineering is inside the house across the border in Mexico, where there are hydraulic lifts used to open the passageway to the tunnel.
If you look at the floor with the pool table in this room, it looks like a normal everyday family room. And by the flick of a switch, this whole floor moves up as high as 5 feet to give you access to the tunnel.
U.S. Customs officials say they received tips about the tunnel but couldn't believe it until geologists confirmed its existence.
They were able to test the ground and determine that there was unnatural vacuums underneath the ground, some 30 feet underneath the ground. They just happened to be in the same area that we suspected the tunnels to be in.
U.S. Customs officials say they have arrested 2 people in connection with this drug operation, and Mexican federales also say they have arrested 2 people. Barry?
Yvette, it's my understanding that as part of this sophisticated operation of tunneling, that there is a procedure by which they can flood that area. Can you explain how they did that and then how they got the water out?
Well, officials say actually that this area just floods naturally because it is underneath the water table. And just by the flick of a switch, they can drain the entire area within about an hour and a half. And then when it's not in use, it's just allowed to go ahead and build up again. And then they just continually go back and forth by letting it fill up with water and then draining it again.
To this hour, have the customs officials or anyone else involved in the investigation talked with the owner of that house?
No, the owner of the house, they do not know the whereabouts of it. However, they did say that the owner of the house, his name is Rafael Camarena. They also believe that he is the owner of this warehouse, but they say that they do not know his whereabouts at this time. He is still at large.
And finally, Yvette, does this appear to be an isolated case, or perhaps is it part of a tunnel network?
They're not quite sure about this. They say the investigation is continuing, but they say that they believe that this is in no way a maiden voyage for these people. They must have had quite a bit of financial backing and have been working in drug smuggling for quite some time.
Thanks, Yvette. We've been talking with Yvette Fernandez of station KPNX, the CNN affiliate in Phoenix, Arizona.